My name is Kadeem Swenson, and I'm 19 years old. And today I'm moving to campus housing. I will be going to the University of District of Columbia. I will be the first in my family to go to college. I came up to my parents when I was 16 years old. It went the wrong way. And little less to say, unfortunately, I was put out the house. I went and stayed with my grandmother for a while. After that, that's when I eventually became homeless. I didn't want to go into a shelter because I hear horror stories about the shelters all the time, especially for gay youth. I moved into this abandoned buildings. I stayed in this building for my junior and I guess the beginning of my senior year. That's the room I stayed in all the way to the top. And that room is quite kept intact. Yeah, it's not as dirty as the other ones, but I cleaned it up a little bit. Is anybody in here? I still went to school pretty much every day. You know, I still got good grades. I saw a portal that would lead to better doors so I won't have to be in the position that I grew up in.
Kadeem basically came in like many of the young people that we serve. After a while, he began to just kind of feel comfortable with us and, you know, explain the situation. And through that, you know, we tried to get him into our Wanda Austin House program.
There's been a roof over my head. So, I think it's nice. They give you a lot of leeway. And the staff, they're pretty nice. So, it's like pretty much like a big family. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Kadeem, welcome today. I'm glad you came back to talk to me. So tell me a little bit about what's going on with you.
Well, I'm supposed to be graduating in school, I believe June 14th. And I'm also applying for UDC. I just have to stick, you know, this year out at UDC. Then I'll be able to transfer to probably a better school. The biggest problem was, could I go to a school and how can I afford it? Because, you know, I really don't have the resources. Due to a lot that was going on my freshman and sophomore year, I did terrible in school.
Okay.
But when I received all the support I needed and everything, I was able to bust A's and B's.
Are you open enough to talk about, well, look, I was homeless, you know, I've been going through a lot. Are you able to do that, or you just only talk about it as needed?
For the moment, I only do it as needed.
Given your situation, like you said, you were struggling back then. If anybody that was making that decision for you to go to college had known the internal things that you were going through, guess what? They would have passed you with flying colors. Say, this is a young man that at least deserves an opportunity. You have the ability to be that role model for other young people. You're intelligent, you're bright, and sometimes you just have to step out of it. You have to say, you know what? I'm willing to go public and say, you know what? I struggled. I've lived in abandoned buildings. I've been homeless. You have to be willing to say it. And guess what? You know better than I. Doors were open.
Because we're a liberal arts college, what that means is
we have a very active queer community on campus.
We had our first fair in Charlotte, North Carolina in October. Then we went to Boston, New York, Portland.
My name is Shane Windmeyer. I'm the executive director and the founder of Campus Pride, the nation's leading organization for LGBT and ally college students and campus groups. I read Kadeem's story in the paper and it really inspired me. It demonstrated tremendous bravery and courage, and I thought I need to make sure I do everything I can to give this young person an opportunity.
Thank you. Shane got in contact with me and told me that I will receive a scholarship. I'm supposed to be going to this program called Campus Pride in July. It's a camp for leaders in the GLBT community, and I received a scholarship to go. From this, I'm hoping I might be able to meet new people, pick up good networks, and learn more that I can do to be a positive role model. BB Zahara is supposed to be there from RuPaul.
Really?
Yeah.
The best part is BB's gonna be with us all week as well. When I came to America, everybody was always thinking that Cameroon was a continent. And I had to teach them, I had to tell them Cameroon is a country and Africa is a continent. And we also have televisions and radios, you know, and restaurants and hotels. And we just don't hunt lions and live in huts. Guantanamo Nostrum.
My name is Kadeem Swenson. I'm currently a student at the University of District Columbia.
Hi, I'm Sierra. I go to University of Alabama in Huntsville.
I go to the University of Notre Dame.
I'm a sophomore at Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Our mission is building future leaders, creating safer, more LGBT-friendly campus environments. We bring students in and we look at our identities, we look at how to empower and how to change our campus communities.
It's just really fascinating to see who these people are, where they came from.
And I want you to face your partner right now, and I want you to observe your partner from head to toe. How often do we, without even talking to someone, we observe and see who they are and basically judge or at least interpret, right, and make assumptions?
It's changed my perspective of what we should have as our status quo at every school. That they said in Colorado and California, they have whole buildings dedicated and majors, GLBT majors. Like, I never even thought of that.
People come here and often it's a few people from this campus and someone from that campus and someone from another, and they come together and they realize that they're not the only ones in the world trying to do this work. It's the most exciting thing to see people lose that feeling of isolation and to get a sense of community.
As an activist / leader, you know, you have to have a tough skin. Not saying that makes it right. And here, you know, it's a different story. But once we leave, we're gonna go back to the real world. Yeah. You know, and you have to have a tough skin out there. You're gonna get beat up.
Things that would be really important to me, other than education level, will be if I go to a campus, will I be safe? I don't want to feel like, you know, I have to get into a protective gear because of my sexuality when I get to school.
Many of the issues that we thought maybe weren't as salient or as real anymore are still very much real. Bullying and suicide happened before this past September. It just took 7 young kids who were gay for the media to pay attention to it. On a college level, things just don't get better. We have to pick the right college to go to. 23% of LGB, lesbian, gay, and bi identified students, faculty, and staff are harassed on campuses. A third of transgender students, faculty, and staff fear for their physical safety. I mean, this is 2011.
I was outed in 9th grade quite viciously by my best friend, and overnight I went from being class president in 8th grade to in 9th grade basically having very few friends that I could call close friends. The reaction of the school was complacency, it was ignorance, and it really shaped my decision looking for a college. I wanted a school that I knew I would be safe at, but also a school where I knew there was some opportunity to change and I could bring my voice and make a difference on campus.
It's a sad situation that young people have to make their campuses safer. College administrators should be doing that work, but it's only going to get better if we all kind of pay attention. So this action plan is something that Campus Pride works with the students over the next year to help them create change on their campus.
You know, I went to an inner city school. I guess they don't expect you, you know, as much to even want to go to college. I'm scared if I will be able to get into a school.
your story, your conviction, your bravery, what you kind of came out of, right? And what you've kind of risen above and your determined spirit, that's enough, as far as I'm concerned, to get you on any college campus. Kadeem, I think, is his own person. In many ways, while Kadeem may be getting something out of Camp Pride, I have to be a little selfish and say Kadeem's already given me wonderful gifts and wonderful lessons myself.
We have many workshops, from learning how to do drag makeup.
Drag has a long place in the history of the LGBT community.
Today we're going to go over what an action plan is and sort of how to just start to think about it.
To a lot of keynote speakers coming this week.
The Kinsey scale, right?
So I invite you to be radical, to explore all facets of who you are.
And help you identify the power structures that are at play in the work that you're going to do back on your campuses.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell my story to another little boy. I'm going to tell my story to another little girl. And you know, when they grow up and they see what I have become, they can be able to identify themselves and say, listen, I can be that person.